feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on their fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody.
Yo, what is good? What is good, everybody? Welcome
sorry, that I ended my other show, my pigskin recap just a little bit ago. We really went in depth this week with a lot of the football stuff, so that's why it ran over as much as it did. So I'm sorry about that. But welcome to the It's Only podcast. What episode number is this, Rob?
30.
Episode 30.
Holy shit.
Okay, the 30 episodes. But we got a lot to cover. So why don't we get to the first topic, Rob?
First thing, let's recap Survivor Series. Holy crap.
Yo. Triple H did pretty damn well with this. Pretty well.
Oh, absolutely.
That women's working match. Whoa.
And that's I mean, first of all, they gotta have to keep doing that consistently, because I feel like, a lot of this is a lot of things too. Like, people, even though I know people really sometimes do not give a flying fuck about women's wrestling, but the fact that you have a women's War Games match, which, especially with the main roster, this is like the first time we've seen it, and both men's and the women's division, both the women's and the men's division really hit home with that. And the fact that we have some first timers, which is crazy to say the least, because it's just like, look, if you're not a huge fan of NXT, if you're not seeing War Games, you do really miss it. You're missing on probably the greatest concept. So thank you for Dusty Rhodes for that genius idea.
But the women's match. Excuse me, I'm eating, so I'm sorry. But the women's War Games match was intense.
Oh yeah,
intense. There was weapons. Of course, there would be weapons in a War Games match. Why can't you have a War Games match
without weapons?
Without weapons. I mean, that's the fun part of it. Somebody is bound to go under the ring when they're next up to just get weapons. The only problem that I have for both of those matches is that they were struggling to get weapons in the ring for some reason.
Well, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you have a giant fucking cage with two rings.
But they struggled to even get a table in there. But all they had to do was get the table and put it between the second and third rope. That's the easiest way to do it. They were trying to wedge it between the rope and the cage.
That's crazy.
Like, don't do that. You got to just toss in the ring between the second and third rope. That's all you have to do.
All you have to do. And really, too, it's just like, especially the women's division. Yes, I know the main roster women's division has not been, I guess,
for me. Here's what I think about the women's division. Raw, stacked. SmackDown, depleted.
It was
depleted. Jeff said the other day, Aaliyah is just a pretty face.
Yeah,
you can't wrestle. Then you have Ronda, who doesn't care.
Well, we'll get to Ronda in just a second because I did talk to a few people outside other good buddies of mine because someone actually brought up an interesting question, which we'll get to about Ronda Rousey in just a second. Well, technically two about Ronda, but I think overall, though, I think as a show wise, even though I wasn't around for the stream, I probably give that show minus the SmackDown Women's title match. I think that's a solid A show right there. If you just kept out the women's title match.
Yeah, that's what I said. A solid A. The second match on the card, I forgot what the second match on the card was. What was the second match?
Ah, shit, I don't even.
We're going in depth with the Survivor Series if we're doing a review to start off this.
Oh boy, but well, I get to that because, like I said, man, the wrestling so far has been very interesting, to say the least. Even though you don't really notice that really much.
I'm over here trying to think right now. What is happening with me?
We're having brain farts.
Yeah, we're having a brain fart. So, but yeah, let's just skip the whole review part of this. Survivor Series, A show, great match. Both War Games matches.
All right, so
good.
this is what the card. Okay, so I bring up a card. So this is from Bleacher Report. You had the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, along with that was the men's War Games. Same with the women's.
That was the main event. The Bloodline and the Brutes.
You had Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, Bobby. It was
oh yeah. That. My God, I can't even speak without coughing. That was the second match. AJ and Finn. That match was so underwhelming. That was so underwhelming.
Yeah.
It went 9 minutes and then it ended.
Yeah.
It went like 9 minutes and then it just ended with Finn winning the match in the most anticlimactic fashion. He wins the match, and it was like it's over like that. And then I think it was like I think the end of the match was AJ was trying to hit the calf crusher, and then he got rolled, or no, something happened, and then AJ rolled him up for the win. I'm like, what? And then the third match was, what was it again?
You also had the United States triple threat match.
Oh, that was an awesome match. And I'm not even mad that Austin Theory won the match.
Honestly,
I wasn't even mad because he has a character now that people can get behind. And
I've been seeing this a lot too. There are people say he's like drawing the kind of what John Cena was, kind of the up and coming, like superstar in the making is basically what is basically, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they gave him a stupid. I think that's the same trajectory too. He was given a dumb gimmick, and then they repackaged him into something good.
So thank you for
U.S. champion.
And the way that I see it, this is too and JD from another wrestling content creator actually brought up a good point. That money.
You mean JD from New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand him. He has bad takes, man.
He does, but I think this one point he actually I want to get behind, but this was interesting. He said, that Money in the Bank briefcase kind of held back Austin Theory.
It did. It held him back, and the thing is, but it wasn't just that the Money in the Bank held him back. It was the fact that he was given a dumb gimmick. Oh, after a win, let me take a selfie. Or during my entrance, let me take a selfie.
Yeah, blame Vince McMahon for that bullshit.
But yeah, thank you Vince.
Thank you for
Vince.
And
Triple H. I don't know why. I don't know why they had him cash in for a U.S. title.
Which that never makes sense.
In an open challenge, you should have just entered an open challenge if you wanted a title shot. But the thing is, they had him cash into an open challenge just to get the case off him.
Oh yeah.
Now it kind of makes sense, but also kind of doesn't still. But it's the fact that they finally got the case off him. They were able to repackage him. And nobody's mad, and
they finally, because
nearly nobody is mad that he won the title.
I mean, the finish, like, for me, it's just like with Austin Theory, and for me, and for those who have not seen his independent tape, yeah,
Oh,
you knew this
you
guy,
guys are missing out, man.
especially from his Evolve days. Because I mean, and look,
He was
even though
overall.
how much we hate Vince, but I will say I'll give Vince some credit where he could spot out like talent, like an Austin Theory, like because we
Yeah,
never.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
But outside of that, woo,
Repackaging him into some stupid selfie
kind of like
gimmick.
yeah, I mean,
It was
that's-
basically him being a knockoff Tyler Breeze without
I was
the
about to
whole
say, yeah, I
style.
just thought of that. It's like, I was like, oh, do we have to go through another Tyler Breeze
It was
phase?
a
Like,
knockoff Tyler Breeze.
and Tyler Breeze, good lord, that was just bad to watch.
No wonder the guy got jobbed out half the time. And he wasn't even over.
It
He only
really
got
was.
over once. He only got over once with Fandango with the Fashion Police thing because it was
Oh,
kind of
God.
funny.
It
It was kind of
but
funny.
but all in all, though, man, I think I mean, give Vince a lot of credit for bringing him in, but the way that they used him when Vince was there was the most stupidest thing that we ever seen. But thank God Triple H comes in, finally actually gives him a good repack, and actually people, and because we know he was over anyways, even though despite he was, I guess you could say, Vince's lackey at the time.
The thing is, that's also what hurt him. They made him Vince's lackey at a time where Vince was under fire for the whole scandal thing. At the same time,
Yeah,
this was happening.
that's what exactly, Damien. That's what we're saying. I mean, I love the finish with that.
To be fair, nobody is mad at Theory winning the U.S. title because nobody cares about the U.S. title or the match.
Yeah, it's just,
The thing is, everybody cared about the match. Everybody did. They
because
just didn't want him. They just didn't care about Austin Theory in that gimmick. But nobody was mad at it at him winning because he got over with the fans with his new "I'm gonna be aggressive" gimmick,
which
growing out the facial hair, and then him being angry all the time.
It kind of gives me, I know this, like I said, I mean, it kind of gives me the John Cena from the Ruthless Aggression, that very aggressive,
aggressive heel.
mean streak.
Like he has a mean streak. They wanted that type of guy, a dark heel type of guy. They don't want a guy who was full of himself, taking selfies after beating up people. Like, no.
Yeah, and I think Triple H realized this, because like the way that I see it, it's just like Triple H just was like, man, this gimmick's fucking stupid. So let's go back to the drawing board. Let's kind of bring Austin Theory and kind of talk things over, because I have a feeling Triple H and Austin Theory kind of did. I feel like did talk about this behind the scenes and kind of did that repackage.
So Damien, you might be mad at the fact, or you might not care about the match. You might not care about the competitors in the match. But it doesn't mean everybody else is either. So that makes your
it's
take
50,
null and void, in a sense.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
But
yes, I agree. When he was Austin Theory, the selfie taker, no one cared.
Yeah, I think that's where. But for me, it's just like, and if you can keep this up, sooner or later, I can see this guy win the world title.
I could see it. I could see it.
And the fact, well, yeah, give him like 2-3 years.
I would say 2-3 years.
That's what I say. 2 to 3 years time, because
I wouldn't do what Vince did and try to catapult him like really quick like that.
And I think this is where Triple H, and I think this is where also, and I also have a feeling that Austin Theory had some talks with Triple H, just like, because it try to get, because we know from Triple H, the dude has been around the game for over almost 30 years, and we see people that actually have really good trajectories.
And the thing is, when they talk about Triple H, they basically say he gets us because he was us before. He was us.
Yeah,
he gets us because he was us.
I mean, he's pretty much, he was kind of one of the founding blocks towards the future, because we saw, well, even minus the well, that's besides the point. But where I'm kind of getting with this, it's like when you have like guys like Triple H, The Rock, like some of these older veterans that were like the stepping stone to the bright future, the next 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years, 15, 20 years, 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 20 years,
Austin Theory, those NXT guys.
Karrion Kross, for the love of Christ, finally actually
We're
getting
seeing it with Karrion.
Well,
Yeah, you can
Karrion-
make a case for Karrion, but also look at Simone Johnson in NXT.
Whew.
She's over because her dad helped her with the promos, with in-ring work,
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
mannerisms. Like
And the fact you paired
last
up with
generation's helping the next generation, and it's great to see this.
Absolutely. And think about this too. And we all know about the NOI family. It has a long line of history of wrestlers going through the company. Peter Maivia, the Wild Samoans. Obviously that was before me and Tyler's time. Rikishi.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing? There's
The
a lot. The Rock. The Usos, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns. Because that's a fucking lot.
Literally half of the current, more than the majority of like the current generation of the NOI families in one group.
And it's just like Solo. Let's talk about Solo Sikoa for really quick. Like, me and Tyler, we've been high on this kid since during this NXT run, and
the entire run's like, when is he getting called up? When is he getting called up? When is he getting called up? Clash happens, and he got called up.
And it's scary too.
And the thing is, he wasn't even there for that long before he got called up.
No, I think
Since not even a month. Inception of NXT 2.0, he's been there, and that's not even been a year.
Yeah, I was supposed to. Yeah, that's a very good point.
He gets called up immediately to SmackDown.
And man, talk about having a crowd response better than
he got a pop in England. A pop, bro.
Absolutely. It's just like I've never seen a guy who gets a pop that, especially for a debut. It's crazy. Even though we did talk about Survivor Series, Survivor Series has been really well documented of debuts over its. How long has it been? It's been around for a while. I mean,
1988. I think 1988 was the first one.
I think so. But if you looked at, you had there's a guy called The Rock, but this before he got repackaged.
Oh yeah, when he was in that bland face gimmick.
Oh, good Lord! But you kind of get to understand, and the fact that Solo Sikoa, for the love of God, the fact he's bigger and much more scary than the Usos, that's even scary.
All this dude has to do is just stand there and mean mug you with your arm crossed and you're shivering in your pants, bro.
It's just like
shivering.
And don't get me wrong though, but man, that kid's got. Well, kid's got a world title written all over him at one later down the road.
Yeah,
but I can see him. If you really want to start out with him, try to win a title, I say you go for the US or the Intercontinental title just to start out. Rather be trying to.
For me, I think the Intercontinental title holds more like prestige.
Yeah, it has more value than
because look at the champions that have won the US title in recent months, recent years, as opposed to
the Intercontinental
title.
And the the IC title has been around for a lot longer than the US title.
The only time that the Intercontinental title had less prestige is when Shinsuke held it, and that was WWE's fault.
Yeah, that was.
They didn't even use him. They didn't even use him.
They did not give up. And this was at the
they
time.
Didn't give a damn.
That was just so bad. I mean, you really think about it. You had some of the old time greats held it. The late Pat Patterson. You also had when the first came up with the idea. You also had Chris Jericho hold it 9 times. You know, the Miz actually finally. And look,
Miz held it.
See what you want about the Miz.
He gave it prestige.
He brought it back to relevancy.
That title, and he elevated to world title.
Like at that point, absolutely. It's just like, look, whether you like the Miz or hate him, but you have to get this man his props for. Let's be real. I think you could say he saved the IC title from being kind of irrelevant if you really think about it.
Because before he even held it, it wasn't even seen as one of the higher titles. Miz held the title in 2016 on SmackDown. He elevated that sucker to world title. Because you got to think too, we had to, because in 2016 Brock was holding the world title hostage.
Oh God, yeah, that was just that was a whole that's a whole different story for another day.
So we had to, because at that time he was on SmackDown, but he was also doing stuff on Raw.
And this is the thing too with the Miz too, like this is where well, other than like we said, him getting hooked up with Maurice. Well, how many
Dude, it was more so you. You're like, you lucky mother. Every single week,
pretty
I'm
much.
like, Rob, really?
But the fact that, look, the thing with the Miz, though, even though the reality check, we can say the gimmick,
Oh my god,
that was bad. That was horrible.
The I'm from a reality show gimmick. No,
Like wearing George with a bandana fedora. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, who decides your fucking fashion choices?
dude,
Like,
the whole fedora behind under the fedora, you're wearing take your pick, fedora or bandana. Don't do both.
It was just ugly. But like, even though the since the Miz has been around for 12 years, though, man, the dude really
He went from not knowing a wristwatch from a wristlock from a wristwatch to knowing everything, cutting great promos, and having great matches.
it's
Dude,
like people, yeah,
guy's a Hall of Famer now for even doing that.
I mean, you have to really give this man props. I mean, shit. It's just like now with this, and it's crazy too. Like, I'll give him a lot of props for him being successful outside the ring. Have his own TV show with his wife, which is surprising.
Honestly, I hate reality TV, but I love that show for some reason.
It's like it's hard to because see, this is why a lot of times I think there's some wrestlers that are cut out to be like Hollywood stars. I mean, we saw with how The Rock does. God, the Rock's kind of making a shit ton amount of money with the movies that he's making.
Oh my god, he's got billions at this point.
I mean, we've seen John Cena actually doing pretty well in movies. Who's to say? Who's to say if the Miz can't follow in their footsteps? He's got.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
He's good.
He just got to stop taking WWE Studios movies. He needs to do some Hollywood stuff, man.
Because I mean, the dude's got the charisma to do it.
You want to legit be an A-lister? Legit be an A-lister, because I think you got the skill, Miz, to do it.
He's got the skill. I mean, he's got the look for it. I mean, he's got it.
Got the attitude, everything, man.
But
everything.
The next thing, which I've actually talked about to some other wrestling fans that I'm very good friends with, someone brought up a question: does Ronda Rousey belong in the WWE?
No.
That's what I said.
Easy answer. I didn't even hesitate with that. No.
Because look, and this is what Jake said too.
Here's the thing: in the beginning, she looked like she wanted to try and do this, and honestly, she was better in the ring then than she is now.
Yeah,
but now that she didn't get her way the first time, she had to drop the belt, and she was so angry about it. Like she just doesn't care. And then for some reason, she acted like she cared when Liv won the title, and I love Liv. Evidently, it didn't, because it was bullcrap, because evidently, a few months later, you decided to win the belt again, but before that, you just didn't care, because every time you would botch, you just didn't care to improve.
So basically,
you didn't care to improve, and you're hurting other wrestlers. Heck, you had Shayna legit kick somebody in the face.
Mm-hmm. And even
that person was Natalya. She had to get a nose job because you had her. Oh, let's just have her legit kick her in the face.
And this also is
newsflash, Ronda. This is scripted wrestling. You don't kick somebody legit.
This is not the MMA.
This is not UFC. You don't do that.
Well, and it was just funny since we kind of bring up that. I mean, even Natalya's PR manager actually come out and said, they actually. Like, she got home from the hospital okay and stuff like that, but it's just like, this is
honestly, when Natalya gets back, she better give Ronda and Shayna a receipt for that.
And for those who don't know what a receipt is basically the way we can describe
it's basically eye for an eye. You hit me hard, I hit you hard.
And God, if you talk about having receipts, the Undertaker is
that man can bash you in the head with receipts.
You piss him off. You find a way to fuck. Oh, this is why
you hit him in the head with a chair. He's swinging for the damn
dude. Like, I think there was a couple instances where he went ham on somebody with a chair. Like, you don't piss him off.
Yeah.
See, this is why they have called. I mean, this is at the time. This was what trying to think. This was during, I guess, before the beach. I can't think of exactly who I'm thinking of.
What?
With the Undertaker doing receipts. That had to be
this was years of this. This isn't just one specific era. He's done this for his entire career.
Like, this is what happens if you piss off a locker room leader.
The only one that really angers me, and he didn't deserve to give this person a receipt. And you know where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah,
Canyon.
Oh yeah, that was.
He came out. The thing is, he came out as gay, right? Literally a week later, Undertaker grabs a chair and goes ham on him for coming out. Like, what?
No, and you gotta think too, as you know, Mark Calaway, who is the Undertaker. I could imagine the dude being very uncomfortable in that predicament. It's like,
but the thing is,
yeah,
it's his fault. You didn't have to go ham on him for doing that.
I think also I remember also he gave a receipt to JBL at one point, and he went even harder with JBL.
No, JBL deserved it.
Oh yeah,
JBL is a stiff worker,
and
he like if he's angry like a certain day or whatever, the man's gonna play you set. He's going to be a stiff worker. He's gonna legit push you, legit elbow you, legit hit you with a chair. Like he's going to go crazy.
Absolutely, 100%. So basically, with Ronda, and I really
Ronda just careless.
Like she
just
doesn't
care.
It's sad. It really is. And
it's not that. She's just careless. Like every time she drops a title to somebody, she shows resentment to the person she drops a title to. She botches. There was one spot in the match against Shotzi.
Yeah,
where she was supposed to, I think, just throw her out of the ring or whatever or something.
Like she chucked her.
She completely almost ripped Shotzi's arm all out of her sock.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, it was bad. It was brutal.
And
it just shows how careless she is in the ring.
And this is where I think Triple H has to find a way to somehow intervene, because if this is going to
keep honestly, I wouldn't be upset if he suspended her or fired her
or just terminate the contract. Because
rescind her contract.
Because at this point, you have a lot of other women behind her. Like, I think Shotzi has the potential to be a good women's champion. You have a lot of others behind her.
And here's the sad part about it. Here's the sad part. Shotzi's a good worker. Liv's a good worker. Natalya's a good worker. Kind of.
Yeah, well, because you got to think too. Natalya's on the back end of her career.
She's on the back end. She's kind of like
she's on the at some point. She's
on the decline, so to speak, because of her age. But she used to be a really tremendous worker,
and it's
still is a tremendous worker. But her skills have kind of went down.
I mean, I mean, you can't take that away from.
No, you can't take it away from her. I love Natalya. For outside the ring stuff, like she's a nice person outside the ring, and she is willing to help other people, and I do like her.
I mean, shit. At this point, I mean, I could definitely see her be a performance center trainer.
I can see that too, because she's a great trainer.
I mean,
we seen what she was trying to do with Lana for the longest time, trying to make her better.
Yeah, and we know how that was.
That didn't work at all, but she tried. But Ronda just drags matches down. They drag the performer that she's going against down. Shotzi looked terrible because of Ronda. Liv looked terrible because of Ronda. Like, Natalya looked worse because of Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that happens in a Ronda match is because of Ronda.
I mean,
it's sad.
Hell, I mean, you have another person who I think at some point someone needs to take the belt off her, and that's Shayna. A lot of people don't realize, I know Shayna, I mean, despite that one mistake, Shayna, you got to...
I don't think it was a mistake. It was that Ronda influenced her to do it.
You know what? I feel like halftime. And this is why a lot of times, too, I feel like Shayna, for me, anyways, if I want to...
I just hope that she was at Natalya's bedside or called her at least.
I would probably say...
Because if not, she's going to get a receipt. Big receipt. But, yeah, I feel like Shayna, she's been booked poorly. That's the problem with her.
Yeah.
Booked very poorly. She's been put on teams that were bad.
Yeah, we're meant to
Nia Jax, she was paired with, and they were botching because they...
that was just...
Another thing is because she feeds off of mistakes. That's the problem, too.
And
she feeds off of negativity, feeds off of botches. It's just not good. She needs to be by herself.
Yeah, because like, I mean, you like when you looked at, and for those who are not talking about, if you looked at her run in NXT as a solo competitor, fucking scary. Let's put it that way.
Dude, every time she would like try to break a person's arm,
Like
I'm like cringing, but I love that I cringed because it was amazing at the same time.
And we're trying to put you to sleep. So basically, because for me, because I mean, this is a lot of times too. Like we've seen Samoa Joe had that kind of success as well with a little bit of an MMA background. You know, and with Shayna, even though, like Tyler said, she's been booked poorly and probably put in the most stupidest gimmicks that we ever seen. Remember, I think when we heard rumors of her getting call up, then they brought her up as like this quote unquote vampire bullshit. That
yeah, you're gonna bite people.
Like what? It's like what the fuck is this? Like
yeah, like, you're gonna bite people until they bleed. What is this, Twilight or wrestling? What?
Like, someone explain this to us. Like, what are we missing? Like, it was a huge head scratcher. And
oh my god, dude. I'm like, why is she biting people? Like, what? And every single match in 2017 or 2018, she was biting people. I'm like,
that's just what? Like, it's like I literally had to face palm and say, what are we watching? And you know, and I love Shayna. Don't get me wrong, though. Shayna's one of my favorites.
Honestly, Shayna as a person, she's a stand-up person, but the problem is she's easily influenced by negativity.
Yeah, she's very. I get it's basically another word. She's naive, for lack of a better term.
She's naive, but she means well because she's a good worker, for the most part. Also, I assume she does feel bad for kicking Natalya in the face like that. I assume
I'm pretty sure she did, probably because like we don't know shit behind the scenes. Like that's
we don't know crap behind the scenes. She's probably yelling at Ronda, "Why the heck you making me do that?"
And yeah, and if you really think about it too, it's just like you could imagine the amount of guilt that's
she's probably incredibly guilty about it. But the thing is, she's a stand-up human being. You know, I've seen her personality outside the ring. She's pretty funny. She's awesome. She's very friendly with the fans.
But yeah,
the thing is, she's too influenced by Ronda to have her legitimately kick Natalya in the face.
Which I don't know, but going on further, the next thing we have on the list is shout out to Earl Cole for that. Actually, with this, from what we saw, William Regal on a 1-year contract with AEW. So this is very interesting to really take a look at. Like,
I want him back in WWE if they're doing War Games at Survivor Series. I want him to yell War Games at the top of his lungs again.
Absolutely, and
I don't care what anybody says.
Just have him yell War Games. I think he was a solid general manager for NXT at the same time.
Very good. As a manager but I kind of don't see him leaving AEW right now. I think they'll extend him for maybe another year, but
you never know. In wrestling, money talks in professional wrestling. Talk,
and if he does get a boatload of money in a contract, negotiation.
We'll see, but we'll see. I agree with Tyler. I will agree with you, man. I mean, I do think he might stay for another year, but it's like Regal. I mean, you got to people got to understand. Like, if you watch him during his wrestling days, I mean, there were some funny moments with him and Chris Jericho at one point, and I think everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, you mean the one where he peed in his teeth? He was just
like his face said it all. That's like, and this.
I remember an episode of Raw when they were in New Orleans and he had to wear a dress to the ring.
Oh, don't
a showgirl dress to the ring.
I'm thinking myself, like I literally shake when I watch that. I say, yeah, this is Raw.
But he made it hilarious though.
Yeah,
with his facial expressions. His facial expressions is what sells the comedy every single time.
It really is, and people don't understand how good of a wrestler he truly was. Like, it's just like him and Lance Storm. I think as a tag team partner, I mean, him and Lance Storm are probably one of the best. Well, let's say not top tier, but I think he was still a great tag team partner with
But
Lance
the
Storm.
problem with Lance Storm, and they did capitalize on this by teasing him about how boring he is on Raw. He was
Yeah.
boring. He was
Uh,
boring.
Well, as you could tell by Stone Cold's that
Boring. He has a pillow and a blanket.
it's like it's just like that should tell you how boring Lance. And I like
Dude,
Lance
he
Storm,
was so
but
boring.
God, it's just like it's like I don't know, man. But
He deserved to get a lot of flack from that on TV because it was so boring.
if I'm not mistaken, look, people say the best quote unquote dirtiest wrestler in the game is Flair. I mean,
No.
rightfully so, but that I think Regal's right up there.
Regal's second. You got Flair first, Regal second.
I think I mean,
and it was always the classic brass knucks.
And obviously he
always hit him in the turnbuckle.
Or most of the time he'll hide him in his trunks.
He hit him in the front part of his trunks. He would take him out of his trunks, put him in. The match is over.
And the fact that he pulled, if you looked at Full Gear, the fact that he pulled that same stunt with it, and let's be real.
I was like, I felt so nostalgic. I'm like, we pulled the classic brass knucks trick.
The fact is, it's funny looking at going back.
As soon as I saw him pull out the dang knucks before he even gave him the MJF, I'm thinking he's turning heel. As soon as he pulled him out, because he didn't give him to him yet. I'm like, he's turning heel. Boom, he turned heel.
It really is. I mean, because whoever seen a babyface William Regal? Because really, Regal's probably one of the second.
Remember his time with Eugene?
Oh God,
he was a babyface. He was a babyface. Because Bischoff was trying so hard to have him turn heel on Eugene, and he didn't want to do it. He tried in the beginning, but he felt bad every time, and then he's like, I ain't doing it.
And speaking about Eugene though. Nowadays, that shit does not going to fly.
I know how messed up that gimmick was, but I still find it funny to this day.
Yeah, but it's just like it's the way that I see it. Looking at it back,
it's supposed to be teasing people like me, not with I don't have a mental disability, but like a learning. It teases people with disabilities.
Yeah,
it's supposed to offend me, but it doesn't offend me. It makes me laugh.
Well, looking back at it, it's cringe, but. People get it, like I said, man. For a guy, it's just like I said. There's some things that we saw in the Ruthless Attitude will not fly. I mean,
God.
But I mean, the actor who played Eugene, though, man,
great job.
It really
made me feel bad for a lot of the heels that stuff as a babyface. What the heels would do to him, he made me feel bad. It really makes me feel bad watching back Raw. It's
just I think it's. And it's
crazy. And then they turned him heel for some reason.
Which, oh God,
that was 05 or 06.
I think it was 06.
I'm like, why?
What the hell is this shit?
A heel character, a heel
with a special
babyface character.
Like, what's that? That's so convoluted.
You know what would have been really messed up though if they turned him heel and then he comes out and goes, "I faked everything."
Whoa! I was just like, what the? I was like that would be a that would have been messed up. Better. That would be messed up, but
it would have been better, but it would have been messed up.
It would be messed up at the same time.
I faked everything. I faked the disability. Like what?
Yeah, that's just like what the hell.
That would have been on par with Vince though.
Yeah. Oh well.
On par.
Yeah, that's that is. I could have
screwed up Vince's in the head.
Well, Vince is that's a total another type of screwy. Oh God.
You think he has screws loose in the head? He has no screws. That thing ain't even intact.
It really is. But going further, we knew that we know the Royal Rumble coming down the road, which starts the road to WrestleMania. And we know that this year's WrestleMania 39 is in Los Angeles. For the love of God, if anybody's seen the ticket prices,
oh my God!
Oh, that's you're going to definitely sell an arm and a leg for them.
But you got to think about it too. They're in LA.
Yeah, probably one of the bigger markets.
A lot of those seats are going to go to movie stars. A lot of those seats are going to go to celebrities.
Want to be
so they have to.
But I mean, right? I mean, shit. I'm like, but we knew that the Royal Rumble, and we had some good moments with the Royal Rumble the last handful of years. I mean, you really think about it. I mean, we've seen some returns, and one including is Edge. Well, which I write this down, but
I legitimately cried when he returned. Legitimately cried.
Because it's like you looking back at it, was it Monday Night Raw 2011?
2011.
Holy shit!
2011. It was Monday Night Raw 2011. It was like it was literally the week after Mania, but he got hurt on that Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, and the fact that it was
he got hurt on a SmackDown spearing Brodus Clay, of all people. That's how he retired. He got hurt spearing Brodus Clay on SmackDown. Literally that Monday, he retired.
And when you make that speech, like it was hard.
It sucked. As a fan, it sucked. I'm like, dang, man, have a career end like that, dang. And then 9 years, later, he gets it back.
And the fact that he still hasn't, and knowing that with Edge. And the fact that he is, I think we don't know where he is at in his career. The dude, I think, has done so much in the many years he's been, especially been a long lifer. And probably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. You could disagree. You could debate me on that on Edge and Chris are probably one of the, I see, top 3 tag teams of all time.
Nobody's going to debate you on that because it's facts.
Like, man, the fact that when they put, it says. Like the 5-second post, it's like I still never will get over that. It's but it's gonna.
They were so good. They were so good as a team. They reunited them in a video game.
Oh God! And
remember SBR 2011 when they reunited them in his game?
And then they broke the fourth wall. That's like,
dude, I remember playing the game, me thinking that it was wrestling was real at the same time. But I jokefully, and I still do, when I look back at that cutscene, and they're like, "Look at this loser playing," or something like that. And they were like this, and I just like awkwardly just raised my hand and just waved.
That's the fourth. Well, but it's good. The way that I see this too, it's just like it's going to suck him when he's going to fully retire, but. You have
Listen,
to realize,
he's like 43. It's time. It's time. He wanted to have this short little final run. We knew it was going to be short. We knew it. Yeah, we wanted we wanted one more title run with him, but he doesn't really need a title.
I mean,
and we kind of understand that. We really learned to be accustomed to understand that. He just wanted to have great matches with people, put people over. He put Roman over at Mania.
I mean, shit. I mean, without Edge, I don't think Roman would be the star that he is now, if you really think about it. And this is why a lot of times, we've seen, like you said, with Edge.
And to be honest with you, Rob, his loss to Roman at Mania catapulted Roman. It catapulted him. Because you're thinking, oh crap, he beat a legit contender. Oh crap. He made people think, oh crap, he beat a legend.
Yeah, if you really think about it, technically, if you really then again, him and Edge actually really put on a really good match, though. Him and Roman and Edge really put on that was a really good match, though. If you really think about it,
it was.
But like you said, knowing that look, like I said, Edge has done so much. I'll give him a lot of props when he pulled out the Brew character from the closet. From the outside,
dude, he brought it out so many dang times, and then he brought it out, I think, one final time.
And it's just
he had like the demons falling, but then he had like a remixed version of the theme, which was so cool. I thought it was gonna be a new gimmick, but it was a one-off, which sucked. He should have kept that.
It really did. But knowing that, look, like I said, Edge has done so much from the Attitude Era up to this point in his career. Like, I think overall, and I have a feeling he also talked to his wife Beth too, who, let's be honest, is a very underrated women's wrestler. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
But I feel
I kind of wish she had a longer run in the company, but I think she retired early because she wanted to raise a family.
Rightfully so.
At that time, she was with Edge when she retired.
Yeah,
she's still with Edge. She wanted to raise a family.
And she
but
still
she's
looks
a great.
good though, man. I mean, you got
She looks awesome. She looks great. Both of them do. Edge and Beth. They look great.
It's just crazy. It's just we've seen her, and for those who have went through your childhoods of different eras, like it's gonna suck.
She came in 06.
Yeah, 06.
He came in 98. So he was literally around my entire life in the company.
Pretty much. I'm with Tyler on this one. I could attest to that. Well, who've seen through the Attitude Era of and let's be real, the Attitude Era, if you look back at it, oh boy, that is yikes.
You know what's even worse? Edge's time with Lita. Yikes.
Oh boy. And
Good
if you
Lord,
didn't get the story on that, man, Lita was getting the death threats.
Oh my god.
And
honestly, yeah, she shouldn't have cheated on Matt, but death threats?
It's like
a little bit too far.
It was. It's
adultery is bad, but not to wish somebody death.
Yeah. I mean, if you have not seen it, I mean, look, I felt bad for Matt for sure. I mean, we could put ourselves in his shoes for sure. But also, I felt bad for Lita too. It's just like, yes, I know that was a big mistake Lita made, but really,
chanting what you chanted, like chanting slight. Chanting that was fine. I didn't care. Yeah. I laughed at that. Like she deserved that.
Oh yeah, but death threats. You're pushing. At the
time she was sleeping around with other people while she was with somebody else.
Yeah.
But I didn't think. But that whole thing, that whole saga was just like. But I'm not talking about just the saga itself. I'm talking about the celebrations. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
There was 2 in like 2 weeks.
Honestly, I was like, what the hell did we want? Like, for those who have lived through the Attitude to the Ruthless Aggression era, you exactly know what we're talking about. And the fact that we, as kids, got away with that watching that shit was.
I turned my TV off before it even happened.
But, I'm
like, no, can't watch that. Turn it off.
But it's just, if you really looked at it, I mean, look, knowing that where Edge is, in his mindset, I think he wants to do like short work. Because first of all, I mean, look, after having that, being out of the ring for 9 years, I mean, you could imagine like he wants to be more of a fan. At this point, he knows he wants to be. He's a family man at this point.
And the thing is, Edge from 05, he was cocky, and he also was like Mr. Steel Yogurt at the time. Now he's more of like a humble, like I'm a nicer human being type of guy.
Like I think
better human being.
Yeah, I think he realizes, he's got to.
He grew as a person, and I commend him for it. I commend him.
But it's gonna suck.
It's going to suck so bad.
I mean, shit, we already lost. We're definitely losing our childhoods at this point,
dude. If Randy retires, I am going to.
That's gonna push most of us over the edge. It's like
Randy, he had a fusion in his back.
I mean, it's gonna.
And right now, there's no timetable on his return, but doctors are saying, and
I think he might,
or that retirement is imminent. It could happen. And it's gonna suck if it happens. It's gonna suck.
And if I'm Randy, I mean, this is gonna be hurting Randy too.
I bet you it's hurting Randy deeply, and I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for him.
I mean, the fact that it's just like a lot of people don't remember, like when he broke in 2002, like no one exactly who Randy Orton really was until we found out that he was a 3rd generation superstar, which now
Cowboy Bob.
And with him, I mean, him and The Rock had some good, interesting story segments. God, what was it? Oh, that's right. When we was kind of poking or like kind of talking shit. Remember stories that
my dad could be your dad. That was the whole thing.
Like it's like Cowboy. God, he pull that. So he called him Cowboy Bob or Mr. Orange. Like he doesn't respect him. It's like damn.
He was like, my dad could be your dad. And Randy's like, no, can't.
And the fact that he pulled, the fact that he also, I remember, like, and he pulled out some old school wrestling wrestlers back then. King Kong, the late King Kong Bundy, Junkyard Dog. Well, that was before me and Tyler's time, but
that was 80s. 80s. That was way before our time.
And the fact that he pulled those guys out, and the fact that he also made fun of Randy like having his sister's like little pony something. That I just fucking lost it. The fact that Randy admitted that, it's like, what the
I didn't mind though. And the thing is, I look back, I'm like, dang, Rock, I didn't mind you. I didn't mind the whole my dad could beat your dad.
man,
he bring my sister into this thing.
Like that's The Rock, and this is why a lot of times people like this is why The Rock is going to be is one of the greatest of all time because of that. And like we said, going back to what his daughter Ava Raine, I mean, even though we don't talk when
the way she was looking at the camera when she hugged the guy made me feel something. I don't know what it was like. That's kind of attractive.
Yeah, and the fact and. Like I said, going back to
Ames, I'm like that's kind of attractive, but if I ever, I was like hypothetically, if I ever dated Ava Raine, I would be scared because of The Rock.
Yeah, that is true. But it's crazy too. And
but dude, the way she was looking at the camera, I was like melting. I'm like, oh.
I was just like, but. Like whenever we get to see her wrestle, though, but we knew where she got the mic skills from.
The character work is so good, though.
It really is. It really is.
Their skills on the mic is actually really good, really good.
Well, when you have a dad like The Rock, who's a master of it,
and you could tell, she's learned from The Rock.
She's learned. You love to see it, though. You really do.
You do.
And going. And then we have a few more on hand. We knew that. Well, I think we all know. I think the answer to this question: who should dethrone Roman Reigns? I'm going to throw out one or two names. One of them is Cody Rhodes. I have a feeling Cody Rhodes is going to find a way to dethrone Roman. And another one, I think you guys agree to disagree, is Sami Zayn. I think it's one of those two guys.
Oh, you know what? You know what's being rumored for Elimination Chamber this year?
What's that?
Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for the title.
Oh,
that's what's being rumored. That's what's being rumored. So they are going to turn heel on him eventually.
You know what?
And dude, it's going to hurt because Jay finally warmed up to him on Saturday. I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt.
Bitch.
I'm like,
I'm really hoping.
Yo, as soon as that happened, as soon as Jay,
shit.
As soon as Jay warmed up to him, I'm like, damn, this is going to hurt.
It's going
to hurt.
But
I'm like, Triple H is really going to make this painful, isn't he?
I mean,
I said it on stream. I said it on stream to him, like, they're really going to make it. They're going to make it painful.
It really is. I mean, it should be. I mean, this is why you have Triple H for one reason. It's a creative genius in its own right.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing that, look, whether you like or hate Roman, the fact that he's held it almost 1,000 days, which I think it's held by Bruno Sammartino. I don't know exactly how many. I think it's over 1,000 days that Bruno Sammartino has held is the record. At some point, it's like it's getting really kind of stale at this point, And I like Roman, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, this title race was kind of bland. I'd be really thinking about it.
It's like they're trying to break Sammartino's record. It seems like at this point, it's like, don't do that. I mean, back in the day, wrestlers could do 1,000 days as champion because fans like that. Now fans have an attention span of 15 months.
Yeah.
Not even.
I agree.
And they care for maybe 6 to maybe 12 months, 15 tops.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
They don't care. They don't care about. They start to find it boring once you surpass 2-3 years. This guy had the title since 2019.
And has that been
2020?
Yeah. And has that been since what? December of 2019?
No, December of 2019 or 2019. He wasn't there.
Oh crap!
It was 2020. It was SummerSlam 2020.
Okay, that's what. I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
He wins the Universal, or he challenges for the Universal title. He wins that. Not at SummerSlam, but after. Because remember at that time it was a triple threat. But he, didn't sign the contract until literally as he was walking down to the ring.
Yeah,
I thought it was genius at the time.
That's I'll sign it whenever I feel. He's pretty much has the mentality. Say, look, I'll sign the contract when I feel like.
Whenever I feel like it. As soon as Braun and Bray were beating the crap out of each other, he saw they were beaten up to like oblivion. So let me sign the contract, and he won the title easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like that's.
I thought it was good, but then after that, it was just a long run with the title,
and
and it
like
lasted a year to 2 years,
almost 2
much.
years at this point. Well, it's been
Almost
over 2 years. Well, actually,
It's
no.
been
Wait a
over.
minute.
It's literally been over
That's
2
what I
years.
say, it's over 2 years.
Because he had the title for like 500 something days.
It's almost actually over 800. Actually,
Over 800. Literally 2 years.
almost 2.5 if you really think
Two
about
and a
it.
half. 2.5.
Holy
yeah.
shit!
Like this guy has held the title for that long.
And like I said, I mean, I think if Cody, let's just say, if you really, I don't know, like
At this point, I don't even think Roman needs the title for the character to work. Have him drop the title.
Because I mean, look, the Tribal Chief character in its own right is actually great as it is.
It's awesome. I still like the character. I just don't like the title reign.
It really does. I mean, it is what it is. But I really hope, because with Cody, which for me, and going back to what I said about Cody Rhodes, though, and this is a lot of time. I mean,
here's what I think. I don't think it should be Cody and Roman. I think it should be Cody and Seth.
Oh, okay.
Like,
you know what?
I think Seth should. I think Seth should do like the storyline as a baby face. Remember what you did to me, yada yada yada. You choked me out.
Kind of
because
what
you were mad because you were mad at me for something I did in 2014 that I had since apologized for.
Oh God, what was it?
Remember the chair shot?
2014? Oh shit, I forgot about that.
And they try to continue that story, but then also I'm going off of 2018 when they reunited with the Shield. Like, look, did my apology mean nothing to you? And just do that story, and then
kind of build off.
Have Seth win the title there, and then or like the Rumble or something, and then have Cody versus Seth turn Seth heel again.
Because I think Seth works better as a heel than he does. I don't. That's a hard thing to say, though.
The thing is, with the Architect gimmick, he worked better as a heel, but with this gimmick, I think he's better as a face.
Yeah,
with the whole cocky visionary gimmick. Yeah, it's a heel gimmick.
I mean, it's really growing on me if I think about it.
It works better as a face because the fans love it.
I mean, the fact, and you could tell that the game is so over. Like they're actually literally chanting his things on.
They're singing his theme song.
It's like you can't tell me a gimmick.
And he's over here He's over here directing it like this.
That's like you cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me a gimmick. I mean, we've seen gimmick that can be over, but not. This is like over to like 2 or 3 times over. Is basically what it is.
This is like meteoric over. Like this is over. This is over.
Like he's getting to like look. Will you like him or hate?
From the front row to the rafters, they're singing it.
Yeah, it's just like, and I gotta say this too, man. But and look, I'll give Cody Rhodes a lot of credit though. If you have not watched Hell in a Cell with him and Cody,
respect. This man wrestled with a torn pec, a 10 to 15 minute match.
I felt bad for Cody. Like, could you imagine the amount of pain that man's got to be in,
bro? Every time he picked up Steph for a slam, or if he just got chopped in the chest,
and look, and as much as I mean the fact, and this is the crazy part too, or not say crazy, but it's
and Seth was also, I think, in that match working his arm.
Yeah, and not to mention he started driving a kendo stick into the torn into that brood. Let's like
you cannot tell me this man was not in immense pain because he was.
And the fact that we heard that he tore it off the bone, it's like, oh, ouch. And the fact that
the muscle on his bone gone.
Like at that point, it was gone. and
they said, and the thing is, he was gonna be out for 9 months. So I don't know when he's gonna be back. Whether it's like, when did he get hurt? Hell in a Cell. What year? What month was Hell in a Cell?
That's a very good question.
Was it the summer? I think, like June, July-ish.
I think that was June 5th.
So June. So 9 months from June. When is that?
Because April, June, January, February, March. So June is 6 months in. I think he might return to the Rumble because the Royal Rumble is the next pay-per-view coming up.
Is the Rumble 9 months from last June?
June of 2022, and what we're in November.
Weird.
Almost.
We're in November.
July,
Almost in
August,
December.
September, October, or December. So he won't be back till March.
So I would actually have Seth win it. Seth win the Rumble.
I have a feeling he might. I think he might come back at Mania. Cody might come back at Mania. That's where my gut feelings tell. That's what my gut's telling me.
I would literally have Seth win the Rumble, right? Have him win the title. Actually, challenge sooner for the title.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Win the title. I'm gonna get a free pass, at Mania anyway. Or no, have him lose. Wait, no, I wouldn't do that. Wait, yeah, I would have him win the Rumble.
Yeah, I was about to say you have him in the Rumble,
but don't. But you would have him go against Roman sooner. No.
You know what? God, the Royal Rumble. Well, you got to think to this too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have him go sooner at the last review for Mania.
Yeah.
And then win the title, go as the champion to Mania, and then have like an open challenge.
And then you have Cody.
Cody comes out.
And
he wins the title.
And this is crazy too. I would say this is crazy too. And I'll give Seth. I mean, as much I love Seth to fucking death. The fact that in Hell in a Cell he decided to do the most disrespectful thing is pull out the colors of the late Dusty Rhodes. Like how much of a heel do you have to be to pull that shit off? But I mean, it's just I think Cody and Seth. I mean, look, even though I know they met in the past, but you have to realize too. This is before Cody had, I guess, say like a quote unquote repackaged. I would say before like repackaged to what he is now. Which let's be real. Thank God he did that because good Lord.
Wasn't. Yeah, well, yeah. Thank God he brought that gimmick over to WWE because I was thinking he's gonna be back at Stardust. Oh crap, he's gonna be Stardust.
And
again.
then
no, it didn't happen. I'm like, yes, fine.
And the fact that he brought the theme over to it too, it's just like, what the hell? We never expected that.
I was like, what? You brought the theme.
That's what I'm saying.
I literally yelled at Mania on the watch party stream, Ghoulies watch party stream. He brought the theme.
Yeah, it's like, but we got three more other things to go over, and one of them is on Dominic Mysterio, and we also I've been hearing Finn Balor's giving this kid a lot of praise for a guy that's been.
Dude, and I said it too. He deserves the praise because his heel work is actually doing pretty well, and also Finn. And the reason why they were put into this group because he wanted Finn and Damian to help him out.
Because I mean, you got two guys
with the ring work, with the promo work as a heel, as opposed to being a face. Because his dad was helping him,
but the face
with the promo work, and the skills in the ring as a face.
So either way, though, I mean, he's gonna like people don't realize too. Like you got some seasoned veterans. Finn, or people who've seen him in New Japan know as Prince or is Fergal Devitt or Prince.
He was a heel there too. He was a heel there.
Like Finn as a heel, though, I think it suits him better than he would. I mean, though he was good as a baby.
To me, I think he works better as a heel than he does as a face.
That's what I'm saying.
As a face, he's okay.
I mean, he was over a face, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's just like his heel work, like it's second to none. If you look back to his time in New Japan, I'm not saying Ring of Honor, but in New Japan as Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt, or what he was known as, or the Prince. And the fact that
he was Fergal before he joined, or he didn't join Bullet Club. He made Bullet Club.
Yeah.
After he turned, he dubbed himself the Prince, so he's Prince Devitt after that.
And even the fact that when he came back to ICW for Fear and Loathing, boy, did he get a pop for the ICW, and people don't realize how good Instant Championship Wrestling was, especially in the UK scene.
I still watch a couple episodes of ICW on Peacock on occasion, because they still have that partnership with WWE. Progress is the one that doesn't have the partnership anymore.
Yeah,
with WWE, which I don't know why Progress is still on.
Dude, Peacock. Progress was actually pretty fun to watch. What are they doing? It's because
they're trying to they're starting to work with AEW talent now and like stuff like that. They're working with Jonathan Gresham, who's AEW. They're more leaning towards the AEW side.
Right, which makes sense. But man,
but I don't know why I'm questioning why they're on Peacock, because it's not a WWE property. Peacock's not a WWE property, so they can get away with just keeping it there.
I guess so. But and last two is regarding the NWA, and me and Tyler talked about this behind the scenes. The question is NWA dying? I think it is. And for those who don't know,
honestly, the Billy Corgan's doing concerts again with his band, so it's kind of like he's like losing money in a sense.
Yeah, and
he's losing a lot of money because
losing money. He's losing talent,
but the problem is it's his fault.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
Shouldn't have bought it.
You shouldn't have made those questionable comments about Mickie James
or just the women in general, part of that women's division.
The women's division doesn't matter. Empower was great.
And this is what me and Tyler said this too. Empower was great on YouTube. The fact they were so desperate for money, that's when they start hiding behind that paywall, because they were desperate for money. And
it wasn't Empower that was on YouTube. Empower was pay-per-view.
Oh no, that's Power. I'm sorry.
Empower was a pay-per-view, and I was fine with them, just using money for pay-per-views, because every company does that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to have a pay-per-view, have a pay-per-view. I don't care. But when you're putting what is essentially a TV show behind a paywall like that on YouTube,
like you're screwed.
Pay $9.99 on Fight TV to watch the show earlier, and then we'll post it a week later on YouTube for free. So now you have to dodge spoilers just to watch the show.
It really is, and that ties into another guy that I think, we discussed behind the scenes, and that's Nick Aldis. The question I posed to you, Tyler, where's Nick Aldis going to go?
He's been praising WWE a whole lot in interviews. He was on Not Sam or Sam. What's his face? The radio guy, Sam.
Oh shit!
Sam Roberts.
Yeah,
he was on Sam Roberts' podcast. A few months ago.
Yeah,
he sat there the entire time praising WWE and their work, and he was like, and it was basically like him saying, "That's one of the companies I want to go to." Because I haven't been there yet. I've been to Impact. I've been to Ring of Honor. I've been to AEW, albeit I wasn't contracted to AEW. I was there.
I think he also been to I don't think he hasn't been to New Japan yet. I don't think
he hasn't been to Japan.
But the fact
he's worked in Japan, but he's never been.
He's not
contracted. But even if he wasn't contracted, he was in Japan, so he wrestled there too. He's been literally everywhere in the world except for WWE. Never been to WWE.
And the fact
his wife has twice, but he's never been.
That's right. And this is where I would think too, like with the Triple H regime. If I'm Triple H and if I'm Triple H,
I am giving this guy a mountain of money.
Just throw the bag at him, because
I'm throwing like
talent.
I'm not throwing just one bag. I'm throwing like 5-6 bags at him.
Because a lot of people don't realize too how Nick Aldis or older TNA fans remember as Magnus, how good he was in the ring.
A lot of people so good. His character work in TNA was so good too, as Magnus, and he was there since 2009.
Yeah,
because remember he was the catalyst for LAX disbanding in 2009.
Right.
And they joined that British group, which made no sense because the guy was Hispanic and he's joining a British group.
Like that wasn't for me when you looked at it. That was a head scratcher. It's like
I'm like looking back. I'm like, he's Hispanic, he's American, and he's joining a British group.
Which doesn't and.
He's an Hispanic American and he's joining a British group. It kind of reminds me of Rob Conway joining La Resistance, and that made no sense.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was horrible.
I was like, what?
I forgot about that. Like he stuck out like a sore thumb. It's basically what Tyler is saying.
I'm like, this dude's American.
It's just like
he's joining an Italian group. He's not even Italian.
No. La Resistance was more French. We had Rene
Oh yeah, it was
Dupree.
French. He's not even
Who the
French.
fuck's the other guy? Oh God, I'm losing.
You got Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But God, could you imagine this?
Both guys they screwed too, because they screwed.
Because Rene Dupree I thought.
Here's what they did. Here's what they did with Rene Dupree. Ready? We're gonna give you a poodle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was just.
We're gonna give you a dog.
What the hell
And then
is
John
this?
Cena's gonna throw nuts at it all the time. What?
It was a head scratcher.
And then the original Maximum Male model, Sylvain Garnier.
Oh, that's right. This was before Triple M was a thing.
This was Triple M, but it was single M.
Yeah.
It was double M. Maximum Male Model, or it was Male Model. Not models, but model. They gave him a model gimmick.
Oh God, that was horrible. That was very horrible.
Oh, what?
Now Tyler, think of this too with Nick. Could you imagine? Because I don't know if Nick Aldis has ever wrestled Walter, but could you imagine those two in a WWE ring putting on a show? Sign me up for that shit.
Dude, Walter versus anybody that size.
Yeah, well, unless you don't want to take. And I'll give Sheamus a lot of props too, but man.
Here's the thing. Oh, if we're talking about that, I didn't want that match to end.
No, absolutely not.
I didn't want that match to end. I wanted them to absolutely kill each other.
And I mean, look, as pale as Sheamus is, but the fact if you looked at this man's chest after he gets chopped, God damn,
he went from pale to red,
like in a matter of seconds. Like we knew
that man had like 10,000 cuts on his chest too.
Like literally, Walter made his chest almost bleed.
Yeah, he was like, you thought that the Chris Jericho thing when Ishii made the guy bleed. The man was puddled. Remember last week on Dynamite, or was it Rampage?
I think it might have been Rampage. I think it was
when Ishii was chopping the crap out of Chris Jericho, and his whole chest was literally bloody, like blood, and like somebody he cut his chest. It seems like
hell. If you're and like I said, if I'm Triple H and I see if I'm Triple H, like say kind of scouting on some even need more extra. I wouldn't really say we need more veterans help, but it couldn't hurt to really use another guy in the locker room. Nick Aldis could be the guy I would think for sure. First of all, like that dude's got if you count them, he's got countless world titles to his name. Like for the love of God, like if you let I will say this, I'm not saying Triple H, but if you let a premier talent slip through your fingers, you're fucked. You're screwed. Because I think Nick Aldis could be that one guy. I feel like
Nick Aldis is that missing piece, man.
I think he can prepare. Could really be a house. Obviously not house on me, but he'd be a major draw, a major money maker. Because if booked right, what we've seen in the past, this dude can bring you a shit ton of money.
Oh my God! Do you know how much money he's going to get you with merch?
Probably. We see
he's literally going to be the top selling merch guy within like a few months. That's how good that guy is.
It really is. I mean, I don't know what exactly.
And another thing too about Nick Aldis, when he cuts promos, I shut up and listen.
Like Larry, he's just that kind of guy you want to shut up and listen. And
he is that good on the mic too.
He really is. I mean, people don't realize how good this dude is an all around type of talent that's been all over the world, has countless world titles to his name. Probably got lucky and gets lucky and has Mickey James by his side. Probably
lucky mother.
And God, could you imagine them as a mixed tag? God, that would be a fucking good mixed tag team right there.
Oh, another thing too. Whatever happened to Mixed Match Challenge? I thought that was fun.
That was a very good question. What the hell
happened? That was fun. Why did they ask that?
That is ridiculous.
Dude, I loved watching that on YouTube or Facebook when they had the whole Facebook deal.
God, yeah. I mean,
that was so fun.
It really was. I mean, he has some teams that you never expected, or superstars we've been paired together.
And you know what I find completely ironic about it?
What's
that?
Go
on W2K22 and look up at the arenas. They have the dang arena on
2K.
And yet they don't have the event anymore. Like what?
Or like the picture,
I missed the Mixed Match Challenge. It was fun.
Think of this too, like you would ask us could you imagine Braun and Alexa tagging his team and say we looked at say nah, that's never happened in a million years,
dude. I remember when that whole thing with Alexa and Braun and they were so close to kissing a bunch of times. Like now kiss. Ah, dang it! Or not, dang it! Every time I'm throwing up my hands, like, dang it, and let it
And
happen.
it's crazy. This
I
too.
I wish WWE capitalized and just went with it. They did the Otis thing, and he finally get to kiss the end. I wish it happened.
It really did. And you know, it's like, the one last thing before we head out of here. If you're not following Nia Jax on Instagram or TikTok though, but man, she looks like she's like she looks very happy, being out.
Honestly, I didn't like that she was too like sloppy in the ring, but as a person, she's actually a really good person. I don't hate her. I just don't hate her. I hate her as a wrestler. I just don't hate her as a person.
And I can see why I think I can see why that she wanted to get out of there.
She said, "No, I don't want to be there anymore. It wasn't for me. I'm gonna be happy doing other stuff."
I mean, from what I've heard, like, she's also doing like modeling now. And good man,
she's got the face for it. She's pretty. She got the face for it.
I mean, more power to her, and the fact that it looks like she's like happy, she's living the rest. I mean, you love to see that.
You love to see that. So kudos to Nia Jax, man. She's happy with her life.
I mean, it was. I mean, you really think about it. If she would, because I mean, if you looked at her time in NXT, I think she had a potential to be a superstar. But they just, I feel like.
Here's the thing: for the most part, she was decent in the ring. She was decent, but the problem is when she goes to punch somebody, or when she messes up sometimes, she goes a little bit too hard. That's the thing. She went a little bit too hard.
Oh yeah, but from what we've seen, that she like posts about her life though. I mean, it's like, she's like stress free, because it looked like you could tell that she was stressed as fucking hell. Like you could see it. The amount of stress.
There was a time, the time she got fired.
Oh yeah,
she got fired during a break where she took a mental break because she felt
rightfully so. Like
she was stressed, she was tense because fans weren't liking her because of her botching and all this other stuff. And I kind of feel like I feel bad for like being part of that.
Yeah, it's just looking at it. It's just like.
I kind of feel like an a-hole right now. I shouldn't have done that.
It really does. And people, and you also think this too. I mean, I could mention the amount of stress, the fact that they're almost on the road, almost 364 days out of the year.
It takes a toll on people. It took a toll on Sasha.
And dude, and you even looked at her time on Broken Skull. Like she even said like she lost herself. Like she doesn't know like who Mercedes is. Like she only knows that Sasha's like, wow,
I was like, dang, man. I feel like crap for dogging on her for taking months off.
But I can see why, and for good reason, because it's just like it sucks. I mean, yes, I know.
It does. And also, she went through a lot of mental stuff when she injured Paige.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and it took Paige to call her and say, "Look, I'm cleared. I'm fine," for her to be happier.
Like, I mean, like I felt so, but you could not help feel so bad for Sasha.
And fans were dogging on her. Oh, you injured her, Paige. Boo, you injured Paige. It wasn't her fault. It was a freak accident.
And even Paige came out and said, "Look, that like even Paige admitted that was a mistake."
Paige came out literally the next day. People were dogging Paige or dogging Sasha. Look, guys, it's not her fault. Quit. It's not her fault.
I think she also said, like, look, I was in the wrong spot. Like that was on me. But
I think what had happened is that Sasha did go a little bit hard on the kick.
Yeah.
A little bit. But also the way that Paige sold it too. She reared her head back.
Like you're talking about whiplash. That's
but the thing is, it wasn't the whiplash. It was that the fact that she was trying to sell it, like she was dying and like she had her head back.
Oh yeah, it's just looking at it, like I said, man. It's wrestling,
but it really wasn't nobody's fault though.
It just accidents happen all the time. Like we're not perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, you really think about it. I mean, this is why. I mean, like we see. I mean, look. Like I said, man, it's just like, look, Nia. I mean, I mean,
Nia as a person, man, she's a great person. She was, and also too outside the ring, she was always good to the fans.
Oh yeah, I mean,
always good,
especially during the fact that she put. But she does have a comedy side, though. I love her sense of humor sometimes.
Dude, I loved her reaction when she was carrying Alexa and a fan slapped her on the butt. And she went, "Ooh," like, "Ooh."
Or like during her Alexa's wedding, she pushed Miz out of the way to go down the aisle.
And Miz is just like rolling down the day.
It's just like you have to give this woman a lot of like. She's living the best life she possibly could.
She had her moments, honestly.
She does. She really did. And, and the fact that, she's happy just doing what she wants to do.
Happy. Yeah, man, she's happy with her life.
I mean, I can't be much more happy for her. I really, truly do. Mm-hmm. And, and the same with Sasha, man. Sasha, man, I still feel good. I still feel bad for her. I really do.
She went through a lot of mental stuff, and she left wrestling, and
it's like,
and the whole walkout thing with her losing the whole title thing. I was on their side the entire time
because I could see where they were.
I could see why they walked out. I could see it. You made the tag team titles irrelevant,
and I mean. And if I'm
also, you were going to have Sasha turn on or Naomi turn on Sasha,
and that just didn't
as the champion, and they weren't going to. It wasn't going to make any sense.
It really didn't, and I think both night. It's crazy too. I mean, especially looking back at it, I think Naomi and Sasha knew where that was heading, and it's like, nope, fuck.
And they thought, nope.
It's like, no, you can take. So basically, they just dropped the belts.
You could take that match that.
And shove it,
and then they slammed the titles on his desk and walked out.
Because for me, and if I'm Sasha, I mean, look, if wrestling is, and let's be real though, I mean, I think she's got potential to be a good actress. Don't get me wrong, though.
God, did you not see her in Mandalorian? She was great.
I mean,
phenomenal Mandalorian.
I think I mean, she really, I do think, can be a really good actress. I really do. If wrestling is not for her, because I mean.
I feel like if she quits wrestling, she could be a model, a singer, because she can sing.
Oh, that's right, man. I forgot about that.
She could be a model, singer, and actress, and she would make a killing.
Definitely a model for sure, man. I mean, she's got the looks for it. I mean, she's like people don't realize. I mean,
people are crushing on Sasha still. Of course, she got looks for modeling.
I mean, shit, another one. Yeah, but I mean. Naomi, I mean, Naomi's gonna be another interesting one though. Like, where is she? Like, I like people realize too. Like, not just like even though like wrestling is a scripted sport.
The thing is, I can see Sasha exploring other avenues because she wants to. Naomi, I can see coming back. I can see her saying, "Yeah, coming back," because that's her dream. Wrestling, it's her dream. And Sasha, she's like, I mean. Like I love wrestling. It was my dream for a while, but I'm starting to not like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been around she's been in the company for a good chunk of time, if you really think about it. But other than that, though, man, it's been like I said, wrestling has some ups and downs. But Survivor Series, kind of do like a whole recap of the show because we are approaching toward the end. So we knew that the NWA pretty much killed themselves.
Did we go through the entire show?
We're at an hour 20, almost.
No, I'm talking about the Survivor Series show.
Oh no, because
all right, we need to go through the rest of that card. We went to the other match. We talked about Seth losing. Talked about Ronda.
Oh, not the world. Give me 1 second, guys. I did not mean to pull up.
And we also talked about AJ. I think that was the only like 9 War Games matches on the card.
So you obviously had the men and the women's War Games matches. You also, like I said, we talked about. You had the we don't want to talk about the SmackDown Women's Title match. You had AJ Styles and Finn Balor, like we said. Kind of dragged on for a little bit longer than what we liked.
The triple threat. It wasn't. They didn't drag on. It was short. No.
It was okay. You had the triple threat match for the U.S. title.
Was it like the only filler matches on the card before the War Games?
But yeah, with the War Game, I think both. Like I said, I mean,
I want to talk about the storytelling of the War Games.
oh yeah, the men's, yeah.
We'll speed this along. This will be the last thing. The storytelling of the main event.
I think it was spectacular.
It was absolutely wonderful, dude. So good.
Because we were thinking, it's like, where is Sammy going to finally break? Like, what's Sammy? What? Because it's only came down to
after Sammy, quote unquote, turned. I don't think it's a real turn. It's kind of like a cop out for when he turns on the Bloodline, or when the Bloodline turns on him and he joins Kevin. It's more like a cop out. I don't really think it's a turn.
Yeah, I agree.
But it looked like he didn't want to do it. And then after he did it, he regretted it. Even when he was. And then he was just like after the match, the music's playing, and he's just staring at Kevin like, "I'm sorry, dude. I did not mean to do this. I had to do it." And then he was like, "Yeah, yeah," and then he just looked like he was happy, but then he was like, it was kind of like fake happiness, like
because at the time, like, we kind of seen like we were thinking, like, is there a potential turn going to happen at some point later down the road? Because you could definitely see it in his eyes, like,
and then yeah, there's going to be a turn, but I feel like the Bloodline's going to turn on Sammy.
You know what?
Because on SmackDown Kevin kind of teased it, turn on them before they turn on you.
Yeah,
they're going to turn on him, and he was foreshadowing that they're going to turn on him eventually.
Yeah, because I think this is and the fact that, like you said, this also ties to the fact that when Jay finally warmed up to him, but knowing that
as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt when they turn.
It really is, because
it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna sting. But I mean, like I said, you got to have really good storytelling if you want to build that a hurtful turn. But I mean, the WWE and Triple H, so man, they could not plan a better storytelling than what they showed.
Yeah,
towards the end. No one, I think, if you really looked at it too, before the match even started, you can look back at the backstage in the locker room segment. I think Roman knows where. I have a feeling that we know that the hit between Sammy and Jay, but I feel like Roman, for some reason, knows where Sammy's loyalty lies.
You can see like in the promos and stuff, building up to the match, that Roman's starting to understand. Sammy is the snake. Sammy's the snake. But now now Roman's thinking Sammy's the snake.
Yeah, so
he's using us. So we got to turn on him eventually, but we're gonna fake it like we like him.
And obviously, that's probably. I mean, you cannot tell me that's one of the best storytelling parts or builds to it, because I feel like now, like you said, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh, it's gonna sting like a motherfucker.
But I feel like I think this.
I was like, oh, literally, I was legitimately like, oh, Jay just warmed up to him. Like, oh my god, this is gonna hurt. If I'm feeling this emotion about Jay warming up to him, it's gonna hurt when he turns.
It really does. But I mean, I think overall, though, as a show, though, man, but I thought that was the best way to end off Survivor Series. Let's keep it real here. I mean, even the women's one, I thought the women's War Games was actually really solid.
Dude, when Becky jumped off the cage onto Damage Control, I'm like, they died. They're dead. They're not waking up for like 4 hours. They're done.
And it's crazy too. And I'm finally now liking Nikki Cross, because I feel like they finally brought her back to what she was from that.
She's the crazy Nikki Cross again, man. Yeah, she's the crazy Nikki Cross.
And the fact that
the only thing I don't like about the character is the wrestling attire.
Oh yeah,
I don't like the wrestling attire. Give her back the cargo pants and the jacket.
Yeah, basically what she wasn't. Let's be real. That's another faction that the WWE dropped the ball on, was Sanity. But that's
I'm telling you this right now. Violent by Design is what Sanity should have been on the main roster.
Yeah, that is true. I could agree with that. But
if you noticed Impact in WWE with Sanity and Violent by Design, there's a lot of parallels with that.
It's very
The only thing that's missing is they don't have a female.
They don't have like a Nikki Cross, but
They don't have a Nikki Cross. That's the only difference.
and
But
I'll give Nikki Cross a lot of props too. Thank God she finally retired the 24/7 title because that was getting very boring.
yeah,
though
she retired. She retired the 24/7 title by trying to attempt to throw it in the trash can, but she completely missed the trash can because she was doing a no look thing where she was just looking at the ceiling. She missed the trash can.
I mean, shit, she went with it, but I mean, thank God that title.
They looked at it, and Damage Control was just looking at it like,
What did
you missed?
You missed it. Like they kept like,
They
really?
were really confused. They looked at the they looked
Like,
inside
like,
the
you
trash
can
can, all confused.
But and this is a lot of times too, and the fact, and with especially during the last thing, the fact that Alexa Bliss had herself handcuffed to Nikki Cross, like we do, like Nikki Cross, you done fucked up. Like this is why a lot of times Alexa Bliss is very crafty. A lot of people don't, give her a lot of.
You know what I noticed too? The dynamic of that whole story between Alexa and Nikki. Alexa turned on Nikki, and now it seems like Nikki's turning on Alexa.
Like both
the tables in that whole story dynamic
it's kind of turned, yeah.
Like that's cool.
It really is. And the fact I was really hoping that Nikki Cross would jump off the top of and the fact that she did a crossbody off the cage, maybe I thought Becky died. I thought Nikki Cross died from when he jumped off the top of the cage. It's like, what the hell?
She was like cannonball,
like literally, like. But other than that, though, Survivor Series. I mean, that was one of the best Survivor Series I've seen in quite some time. For the first time, actually introducing War Games. And if I'm Triple H, keep that as a fucking normal thing. And actually, because I know that was
honestly, you keep it both at NXT and main roster.
Because NXT knows how to put on some good War Games matches the last handful of years,
dude. But this year, for the first time, it being on the main roster, it was awesome.
And and this is why a lot of times too, I think that with the crowd reaction. Who's to say if it stays because of that crowd reaction? I wouldn't be surprised.
But you got to think too. I've said this countless times on our show. Triple H is fan first. The way the crowd reacted, you know.
Oh, he's going to keep it.
You know for a fact Triple H is keeping more games at Survivor Series.
And
you know for a fact that he's doing it.
And you can definitely, and you can definitely hear it at the press conference too. You can definitely tell.
The fact. Rob, that it felt like a Survivor Series back when we were kids. Because back in the day, there was no 5-on-5. I mean, there was 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown. But nowadays, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus Raw versus SmackDown. Raw every single match.
Yeah, but there was a couple times.
No matches were Raw versus SmackDown this year. None.
No.
They were all story-driven. And it was great.
And finally, and how many times? I mean, how many years have we been asking that for? A very long goddamn time. I mean, it's just
because the whole Raw vs. SmackDown thing in the PG era, it just seemed hokey.
It really, really was. But
look at last year, 5-on-5 Raw vs. SmackDown. Winner gets a slice of pizza.
Oh yeah, and there was a couple instances where Survivor Series they added NXT to the mix too. So they did Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
I thought that concept was okay.
It just seemed hokey.
But the problem was they kind of were stupid with it. No one won a trophy. There was at one point, like last year, winner of a Raw versus SmackDown match, like I said, gets a whole box of pizza.
Oh god!
From Pizza Hut, which was at the absolute worst place to get pizza.
Yeah, yes and no. Depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, but for me, yeah, Pizza Hut's kind of fake.
Yeah, well,
fake cheese, fake bread, fake salt. Everything's fake about that.
But that's besides the point.
Other than that, I thought Survivor Series this year
was fantastic.
Really, really good, except for that one match. That was it.
Oh yeah,
but other than that, it was a fantastic show. I can't wait to see the fallout from this on Raw. I'll probably watch Raw like right after I'm done here. But yeah,
it's going to be very interesting. But with that being said, that's going to conclude episode 30 of the It's Real to Me podcast. Probably the longest time we ever talked about wrestling in the last almost an hour 40 minutes, give or take. But if you guys
hour 34, 24. 23, 24, and counting.
With that being said, though, we greatly appreciate you guys coming through and to ruin some childhoods. Thank God I still save these clips. And I'm
don't play them. I'm gonna get this show done, dude.
But yeah, with that being said, though, I mean, like I said, we talked a lot of things. Like I said,
because I gotta finish dinner. So.
But with that being said, we'll see you guys on the next episode at the Instantly Podcast.
Peace.